Hello there guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is of course only me again, and thank you all so much for joining me back out on another metal detecting adventure. Well, we are well into August now, which means we are at the height of the British summertime. It's going to be hot, it's going to be sticky, and the weatherman says today we are looking at around 30 to 33 degrees. So we've got a lot of work to do under the summer sun to hopefully find some nice targets. But as you can see, we are in a freshly cut stubble field. And that of course means we've got two options. We can either attach a very small coil and aim to go in between the stubble to try and find our targets. Now the problem with that is that you are inevitably going to have to beat and push all of the stubble over, which means fatigue will set in quite quickly, and you're probably not going to be able to go out all day doing that. Or the other option is you can do what I prefer to do. Get a big old coil on your metal detector and just go nice and slowly over the top of the stubble, hoping that you're going to get something sort of within the first 5 inches or something like that. Make life easy for yourself. Give yourself the best chance possible. It is a numbers game. The more time you put into it, the more finds you're gonna get out of it. So if I can detect for longer in the stubble, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. And that leads me to say, if you have enjoyed my video so far and you don't want to miss a video coming up in the future, do consider to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It's not going to take any money from your bank account, but it just means you'll get a little notification every time I upload a new video. And of course, if you want to show your support, help the channel grow, hit that thumbs up button down there as well. But we've got a lot of holes to dig today in the hot summer sun and the stubble. Wish us luck. I will of course see you on the very first hole. Well, it's that time of the morning, isn't it, where we have come down on our very first little target. Now today in this stubble field, I am going to be using, of course, my trusty XP Deus 2 metal detector, perfect machine for this type of ground. But I'm also using the Legacy 3.0 program as well. So I've had to make a couple of small adjustments to this program just so it's really stable, hitting it in and amongst the stubble, but also using it in highly mineralized ground. My sort of mineralization at the moment is coming up with a ground ID of about 77 to 78. So it's pretty hot ground, so we've had to make a couple of adjustments. Now the only thing I've really done is I have gone into the sensitivity and changed it from 96 to 92. And that means that when I'm brushing it through or over the stubble, I'm just not getting any of those little knocks and annoying little noises that might be associated with having to put your coil through so much stress. And the other thing that I've done is I've changed the audio response from 4 to 5. And that's because in some of the areas of this field, the stubble is quite long and I'm going over the top. So of course, for every inch you're above the ground is an inch you lose below the ground. So I just want anything that I might be missing because the audio response is low, just to come out and be nice and loud. And that's the only two changes I've had to make today. And we have come down on a little musket bore. Or I say a musket bore, this is actually probably a little pistol shot bore. But one thing I love about this little bore is that it's not been fired, and you can see the molding all the way around the outside of it as well. So these bores were made of lead and they were fired from pistols. You've got to imagine the pirates and the pistols and all those sorts of things. Well, 1700s, these things would have been absolutely everywhere, making the traditional way of fighting, i.e. the swords, completely redundant. Why would you want a sword when you've got a guy pointing one of these at you and firing it straight through you? So yeah, it's just the musket bore. It's not the holy grail, but it was relatively deep in this ploughed field. We've just got to keep pushing on. So I've got a really nice little target down here, and it's coming up at about 54 as a target ID. But because the ground's really mineralised, it's never going to sound clean and good, but it's just repeatable. So I know this is going to be something really good. And because it's 54, it's coming up as a really nice tone on the Legacy 3.0 program as well. So let's give this one a go, see what we get. Hopefully it's something good. Well, I've definitely moved it because it's now no longer there. Okay, so it has come out in this mineralised ground. And let's just hope it's not a shotgun cap, because I did have one of those a minute ago, but I decided not to film it for you. Ooh! No way. So you are probably not going to believe this, guys, but we have just had a silver hammered coin. Oh my days. I can't believe it. Wow. Do you know what? Actually, I think 54, 55 is probably about right for a small silver hammered coin that's this thin. But it's 100% a hammered coin, that's for sure. And what's really, really cool about it is it looks like it's a sort of 1400s, maybe sort of Edward IV or something like that, because it's got that little trefoil in the middle of the long cross. I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera. To be honest, I can't see it very well on the camera because the sun is shining on the screen. So I'm just sort of hoping for the best here, guys, and hopefully it turns out okay for the video. But we just did a live dig using the Legacy 3.0 program and found a hammered coin. Oh, this is amazing. It's a really nice one too. I am so happy with that. So I'm going to try and research this one, get some information on it on the video about it, and yeah, I am excited now because I've never been in this field before, and we're picking out hammered coins in and amongst heavily mineralized ground, and that means we could get anything at all today. So there we are, our first silver coin of the day, a medieval coin which is about 700 years old. Doesn't get much better than that. So when you're detecting out in the fields, always make sure you're looking at the ground as much as possible, because sometimes you'll find something that not even the best metal detector in the world can help you find. Come and check this out. So if you look down here with the eye of faith, you will see just poking out there what looks to be something shiny and that just looks like it doesn't belong in the ground. Oh wow. No way. Oh, do you know what? I was kind of hoping that it was going to be what I thought it was going to be, to be honest with you. And it is. It's flint. It's a piece of flint, but it's not just any old flint. This is without a doubt a piece of worked flint. It's not worked on the edges or anything like that, and people would probably consider this to be wastage from when they were making flint tools thousands and thousands of years ago. But you can absolutely see that this could have once maybe have been the runner-up to be a nice little arrowhead or something like that. And yeah, just goes to show, guys, not everything you find in the fields is metal. This is truly thousands and thousands of years old. And it just means that somebody here years and years ago was in this field making stuff out of flint for their hunting and for their cooking and preparation and all those sorts of things. So I really love finding these little things. Not metal, but it's still a really cool historic little find. Well, I just had an absolute ear-bursting target down here, and it came up at about 86 to 87. Now, to be honest with you, I was tempted not to dig this because I'm quite near to the hedge, and on the other side of the hedge is a road. And what people famously do when they're traveling along a road is chuck all of their junk over the hedge into the field. And that means we come along, pick it up, and usually it's just pieces of tin can and old things like that, which are totally worthless in terms of a historical context. However, I decided I was going to dig this one because it didn't have the stereotypical traits associated with aluminium cans. Aluminium cans always sound good, but if you listen very carefully, they'll always have this little thud straight after the nice sound. You've got to tune your ears to it, but you will always know that it's an aluminium can for absolute sure. And this didn't have it. And the reason why it didn't have it is because it's a big brass plaque, which is actually from a horse. And the reason why I love these is because some of them have got initials on the front of them, and they probably date to the late 1700s into the 1800s. Now, you have to imagine this was a plate on a horse that essentially belonged to the person who owned these fields, and it was likely the horse that ploughed these fields. So this horse produced so much food for so many people over the years. And it's pretty cool because it's very likely that this is the name of the person that owned the horse or owned the land. And that's because if the horse somehow managed to escape and run away, the people around here would know instantly whose horse that belonged to. And that, of course, means that there's some good historical context with this, and we could probably put a name against who owned this land 200 or 300 years ago. Now, the initial on the front of this breastplate is an R. It's written in italic writing, which is very stereotypical of the 1700s, 1800s. So, yeah, it's just a nameplate. It's just a horse strap plate, but it's a nice bit of bling. This would have been such an important thing a few hundred years ago, and I really like it. Now, I've just had this little target here come out of the ground, and it was quite a sort of scratchy target, and I think that's mainly because it was probably just sort of lying like that, so I was really only catching the very top of it. But when I pulled this out, I almost skewered myself on this very pointy bit here, so that serves me absolutely right for not wearing gloves. Always wear gloves when you're metal detecting. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, because trust me, every now and again you'll stick your hand in and there could be glass and all sorts of nasty, horrible things. But I quite like this little thing, and the reason why I quite like it is because it's kind of round at this end here. Now, it doesn't look like it's broken. It looks like that was deliberately rounded off. So it looks like this is the full length of what it could be. But this end looks a little bit like a nail, and it's kind of squared off on 4 different sections there. Now, that means that this absolutely could just be a nail, but it also could be a little writing implement. Now, I've seen these before, and they usually date to sort of like the Roman period. However, the ones I've seen before are usually twice, if not 3 times the length. So this one appears to be a very short little version of one, but it's almost got the exact same little squared off pointy bit there for actually writing on. And they would have written on tablets and, you know, wax things, and maybe even scratched themselves on rocks and stuff like that. So I guess it's wishful thinking. You know, I'm sort of clutching at straws here with this one, but it is easy to think that this definitely could be a little writing implement, and it could very well date to the Romano-British period. But what do you think, guys? Do you think this is a tiny little writing implement, or is this just a nail or something that's been broken off? Please let me know down in the comments below what you think of it, and if you'd have found this, what do you think it would have been? Because I'd like to think it was Roman, but I can't be sure. Well, who says you can't find tiny things in stubble fields? Because this little fella has just come out of the ground, and this is the long stubbly part as well. So I am really pleased that I managed to find something this small that was probably about 5 to 6 inches below the soil as well. And it really was a sort of stop you in your tracks type of target. And it's a little bullet, which is really cool. And it looks like one of those kind of 1700-esque sort of bullets there as well. I know there's a name for these bullets, but for the life of me I can't remember what it is, but pretty sure somebody out there will know exactly what type of bullet this is and what it has come from. But yeah, a little sort of lead bullet there, very nice. Glad I found it in the ground and not being fired at me. So take a listen to this absolutely juicy little target down here. It's really clean. Really doesn't matter what direction we go, just sounds really nice. And it's coming up at about 85 to 86. So if I was a betting man, I would say this was a coin, and it could even be a nice silver coin as well. But failing that, could just be like a penny or a Georgian penny or something very similar, but it's just so clean, really nice. And I think we're going to have to dig it out, so let's do that now. It's come out in the first spadeful, which is always good, so let's get the pinpointer in there, see what we can find. Is it going to be a nice coin, or is it just going to be a piece of junk? Let's go and take a look. So you can tell the ground is really hot here, because look, you just put your pinpointer in the ground and it goes off. So that means we're just going to have to find a patch, push the button once, and now we've tuned our pinpointer to ignore all of that mineralization. So when we're going through, we know, no way. Oh my goodness, it's a silver spoon, or it's part of a silver spoon at least. Wow, yeah, so this is 100% a little silver spoon handle. And what's super cool about this one is that it's got some hallmarks on the back of it. I don't know if you can kind of see them very well on the camera, but that is a surefire way to tell if what you found is definitely 925 silver. And I knew this was silver the minute I saw it, because it was just shining and it had that kind of dark patina that you would normally associate with silver items that have been in sort of ground for some time. I mean, it wasn't a coin, but it's still something that's absolutely huge and is silver. And look how decorative that is as well. Now, what I really like about this is at the head here of the handle, you can actually see it's got some initials that's been engraved in it. And I'm just trying to have a look to see if I can figure out what they say, and I'm pretty sure that says T, N and G. So maybe that was the person that owned the spoon, or maybe that was the family associated with this particular silver set. But it does make you wonder why this spoon is in here. So it's very unusual, isn't it, to think that many years ago, whilst you were working the fields, you would bring your poshest cutlery set to the field to have your dinner with, and then accidentally forget one and leave it in the field. It's very unusual to think that, because now of course we use very much kind of throwaway items that we can just eat, throw in the bin, and we never even think about that type of use. But this was very prized by somebody at some stage, and it would have been really worth a lot of money as well. So that is really cool. I'll show the landowner this and see if he recognizes any of those initials, but chances are this probably dates back to the 1800s, so he's not going to remember that far back, that's for sure, but he might know, so it's worth a little go. There we are, an absolutely amazing amount of silver we've just pulled out of the ground, and it is of course a little Victorian spoon handle. Well, today is just absolutely sweltering here in this field, but it's the middle of August, right? I would expect it to be nice and warm and sunny, And if it wasn't and it was cold and raining, then I'd equally be moaning. So I can only really moan so much. But we're out detecting, we're having a great time. We're in the middle of nowhere and we're finding some really cool things, because I've just had something come out of the ground here, which honestly, I haven't found one of these for absolutely ages. And the best part about finding this is it was deep. I am so surprised at how deep this target was in the stubble field. Now I know it's relatively short stubble here, but I'm going over the top of it. I'm not trying to push through it at all. And I would say this was probably 8 to 10 inches down in this hole. And it's a cool little copper alloy find. So what I think this is it's actually part of a spur. Now, spurs were obviously used to control horses. So it's very likely that this has come from a horse, maybe a sort of cavalry horse, or possibly even from a lord or somebody of the gentry or something like that. And it's really, really nice, but it's post-medieval, this one. And the reason why I say it's post-medieval is because if you look at the bar here, it's relatively straight. Now, these were exactly the same in the medieval period. In fact, they looked almost identical, and the only thing that tells the difference apart is the bar had quite a big bend in it here. So it would have gone off at a slight sort of 20-30 degree angle. Yeah, it's definitely worth putting up with, the heat and just going out and having fun, because if you can find amazing little artifacts like this, it really does make you think, well, what else is in here and what else are we going to find? So let's keep going, see what else comes out. So it's about 5:30 now on what has been an amazing day out in this stubble field. And considering this is a field I have never ever been in before, I am so surprised at some of the awesome things that have actually come out of it as well. There's a good little mix of history in this field, and I would probably say that it's not everywhere, but if you put the hours in, you're definitely going to find something, that is for sure. But as luck be have it, just walking up towards the hedgerow, towards where I've parked my car, I came down on an awesome little sort of 67 to 64, something like that. And I dug the hole, came out, and instantly I just saw something lying on the ground that I was like, wow, we've gone and found something really good again. But what is it, I hear you ask? It is, of course, another little silver hammered coin, and this one is it's a bit bent, but I think it's going to have some really nice detail on it. Come in and take a look. So here is the lovely little shiny nugget that I just saw lying in and amongst the spoil of this hole, and I almost knew straight away that it was going to be a little hammered coin, because I could just see this little edge here poking out, and it just had that really thin silvery look to it, and I just thought, wow, this is definitely going to be a hammered coin. And then when I picked it up, saw that it was just a bit bent and buckled, I was like, oh, don't care, it's a hammered coin. And yeah, to be honest with you, it's number 2 of the day, and it's made putting all the hours in this afternoon in the sun just that little bit worth it. This is gonna have some detail on it, I'm absolute sure, because you can just see on this side here, you can definitely make out some of the legend, some of the writing on there. This side here, it looks a little bit blank on that side, to be honest with you, but that could just be because of all the mud and stuff that's obviously stuck to the coin. And on the inside of the coin, well, I have absolutely no doubt that we're going to get something in there as well, although there are a few rocks and stuff in there, so I'm going to have to very carefully soak this just to make them nice and loose so that it doesn't damage the coin as we are cleaning it. But what coin do I think it is? Well, that is anyone's guess. What I can tell is that it does have a Tudor-esque shield on the front of it. I can't see a date above the shield, but it certainly does look like a Tudor shield, so I'm going to hazard a guess and say that it's probably Elizabeth I, something like that. But if it's her sister Mary or even her father Henry, then I will be extra happy with this little find. So we'll have to give it a clean. I'll pop it on the video for you all to see. But yeah, that is silver hammered coin number 2 from the Baking Hot cloud and stubbly fields. So that is just a really nice little surprise there at the end of the day, and could very well be our last signal as well. So if I get anything else as I'm walking towards the car, I will of course pop it on the camera for you to see. But guys, I have been detecting in this stubble field all day, and I thought to myself, do you know what? It's been quite a while since I've dropped a little tip on this channel, but because you've watched right to the end, this is a little treat for you, and hopefully this is going to make your life easier when you go out detecting in the stubble too. But in order for me to tell you this trick, I'm going to have a bit of a lie down. So the reason I'm lying down in the middle of a field in the middle of nowhere is not because I'm super lazy or that I am done for the day. It's because I want to get down and show you these little things here. Now these of course are the wheat stalks that are associated with stubble fields. And these things are either going to make your life a lot easier or they're going to make your life hell. Now one thing detectorists do is they go into a stubble field and they follow the straight lines that are made by the combine harvester when it comes into the field. I can see why you would want to do that, and it's actually a natural thing to do, to follow a line. That way you know you're covering all of that ground and you're not missing anything. But the problem is, if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to fight against all of these little things, because imagine this is sticking out of the ground and the combine harvester comes along and he's going to go this way and he's going to tip the root and he's going to break it, he's going to make it weak, pointing forward like that. Okay, now what's going to happen is when you come along with your metal detector, you're going to be going along it like this, and you're either going to break it or you're going to come across a really stubborn little bit at the bottom which has still got a bit of life in it because it's still stuck into the ground. Whereas if you go along the field and you go the opposite way to what the combine harvester's done, i.e. you're going to go not this way side by side, but you're going to go front to back where it's already bent because the machine's come over it. Just look how easy that thing just goes dump, 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 side to side there. That means you're going to be able to push through these things so much easier. Just don't follow the lines. Go the opposite way in the field. Yes, it might mean that you'll go off your track, but trust me, it will just glide through these things so much nicer and you won't actually be fighting them. So yeah, there you go. That's my tip. Go out and give it a go. Let me know what you think. Might go to sleep now.